and stuff like that, and it's fun,
Yeah.
Yeah. But these are the good people.
Well,
there are other people who I'm like, I didn't enjoy your company in the past, and there's no reason for me to pretend I would now.
Yeah. Well, and okay, couple things. That's kind of an interesting principle because there's been a few people that, like an old boss of mine, for example, who he was sort of a half boss. When I was in radio, I lived at one station, but I had duties for one of the other stations owned by the same company. So, and so he was kind of my quarter boss, so to speak. He was a dick. I mean, he was nitpicky. And this was a little side duty that I had. It's not to say that I didn't try to do a nice job.
Oh, yeah.
But he nitpicked the shit out of this one little thing when I had this whole other show and all this other stuff I had to do. And so he was tough on me back then. We both went our separate ways, and years later we connected on Facebook. We have had a riot, and he actually sent me a note, a message saying, I really wish I had taken the time to get to know you. Now, and we like each other. So I kind of am willing to test out some of those types of relationships because I've had them, and I've had more than one like that, that have turned out to be interesting. But where I was going with this, Colleen, is that, think about our children today, they get a cell phone number and it is more than likely because long distance, they don't even know what that is anymore. No. Remember, it was such a big, hairy deal when we were kids. God. Oh my God, it was so expensive.
Mom's on the phone with grandma long distance,
Yeah, and hurry up. I love you, bye. Thank you for the, bunny suit, bye-bye. No, but now kids get their cell phone number and it's very likely that they will have it their entire life. Like I've had mine now for, my God, I didn't even know.
I loved the fact when they did, when we finally had to stop that. I think I'm only on my second cell phone number because I stuck with the one company that long.
Yeah. Well, I'm on my second one only because back when I got this one, that you still had to they took your number if you switched. That's gone now too. Yeah. They made that illegal. So it's almost like a social security number. So think about all that. I mean, yeah, you can block people. But people will never really, if you don't want them to, fade out of your life anymore like they used to. Isn't that weird?
People are supposed to move on. You can't. I don't think you have enough brain power. There's been studies that said that people only have so many close friends. You can only connect with so many people, and it's just, when I see the folks that have, I'm like, how do they do that? But then again, everyone's wired differently.
They are. But, it kind of puts a new spin on where I'm going with this whole thing is the ones that got away or the ones that you wish you would have, done something with, but didn't maybe in high school or college. And then
crushes.
If you have the ability to go back and revisit that, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that now the access is there.
No, honestly, some of the folks that I'm friends with, I remember thinking, well, this is a nice person, but I wasn't anywhere, sort of had a crush on, but I wasn't anywhere, never did anything about it, and it wouldn't occur to me to go back, Well, I remember that. I remember thinking, they're sort of cute, but I mean, for God's sakes, I thought a lot of people were cute. I still think a lot of people are cute.
But if you hit a point, like fast forward to your 40s, maybe this is college age. Okay. Fast forward to like me, getting divorced at 42, bored. And thankfully I didn't have access or whatever. So the worst, most reckless thing, and it wasn't even that reckless, is I got a guy to send me nude photos. I did. He was really nice. He was really, really super. And he was built. He was like a bodybuilder. And that was and I never went on a date with him because I felt too bad because I totally exploited the guy. But yeah, you can get in that mindset, especially when you're whacked out about, whatever.
So I suppose there's just stuff out there that's just sort of, that's just not part of my, experience.
I know. Well, it's saying it's coming. Yeah. So talk to your daughter about that. I'm going to fast forward to this other story because it kind of harkens to what we just talked about. So speaking of that, dick pics, like, even 8 years ago, that was like, you just didn't do that. Now it happens all the time and it's unsolicited. And this one chick really got sick of it. And she decided to get the guy back. And long story short, he sent her naked Snapchat pics and she basically found a way to put him out there and humiliate him. And then he came back and was like utterly and completely outraged that she did this to him when, again, he started it with the unsolicited pictures. So it's like, it's a new way to sexually harass someone, number one. But don't be surprised when somebody gets your goat who might be more tech savvy than you. Hello?
I mean, they do have, I mean, I wonder how that will go under some of the new revenge porn things. I mean, they were not, I mean, I don't know.
Is it revenge porn though? If the guy sends the picture, she didn't ask for it?
I'm saying, but I don't know if the law differentiates between that. I think I would, send it to the, send it to the police or send it to someone saying, this person's harassing me. But I'm not sure how the rules go on that. I mean, yeah, it could come back, I think, to bite you on the ass.
You know what though? If you call the police and tell them that somebody sent you nude dick pics, they're not going to do anything.
No. But you can at least say that you could at least say that you did that one step, first step.
And then go ahead and post them on Snapchat. I don't know.
Cover your ass if someone sends you a picture of ass or something. I don't know.
That's true. Unbelievable.
I just it's like I said, there are some things that I'm okay not really knowing about. I really am. I think if I knew really truly sometimes, all of the ways that people can be hideous to other human beings, we just couldn't function.
No.
You have to choose. You have to choose.
No. So, okay, this makes me laugh. And it's actually a good point. So in the United Kingdom, they're talking about sex ed classes over there, and there's a movement to show realistic genitalia pictures. And it's not just, oh, come on, show them what it really looks like instead of a cartoon in a bio book.
Yeah.
What they're really saying is boys always worry that their penises are too small. And they're talking about what they see outside of school. So they're trying to get the schools to show them what real people's parts look like, so to speak, because of the rise in labiaplasty and other types of things. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I have been fascinated over the lack of actual sex ed when it comes to, I mean, you can give someone a drawing that says, a very, what's the word I want? Just a very simple drawing of stuff. And you say, here's your ovary, here's a testy, here's, blah, blah, blah. But you don't, but it takes you about 5 minutes to go through how the mechanics work, But it's so much more than that. Does the person like me? How do you know if they're saying yes? Is my body look okay? Is this normal? What happens if this happens? And that none of that is covered. And like I said, they spend all this time, if they spend any time at all, on the like I said, the mechanics of it, and not what it really means, or the emotional part of it. So, yeah, telling someone or showing someone, really actual body parts, there are 7 billion different ones. There is no ordinary. There is no, there's some averages, but technically even averages when you say that. If you have someone that's 4 foot and someone that's 6 foot tall, that doesn't mean that everyone is 5 foot tall. I mean, it's just very, they need to understand that, that they're perfectly and utterly perfect the way that they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get that. I can't imagine that this flying in the U.S. for any time soon.
No.
I mean, people would just go insane. They would say they were showing like pornography to the kids or something like that.
Well, and
that just saying that, it just drives me crazy that the human body in any way, shape would be considered obscene.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My body is not obscene. Your body, who's ever listening, your body is not obscene.
Exactly. Yeah. And while I couldn't agree with you more, I do think you're right. It's not going to make it into American schools, but I think it is an interesting note for parents to say, you know what? It is, at the end of the day, your job to help foster a healthy mental state about yourself and self-esteem and stuff like that. So maybe you take this on, at home, and really make the point about not being body shaming, Yeah,
it's really difficult because you grow up and you're just thinking, I've got a kid and we're out shopping for clothes, and I'm like, okay, now, how exactly, how she presents herself is how she should, want to present herself. But then I also know how the rest of the world looks at it. And then I've got to balance these two things. And then I got to, come up with, the right strategies to teach this. You're perfectly willing to wear certain things, but you have to know how to, react to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And shut down stuff that might be flung at you. you know, and that goes for guys too. I mean, you know, people make judgment calls about, you know, not nearly as many, but there are some. A lot of times for guys, it's hair. You know, I'm like, who gives a shit how long your hair is? You know? I mean, it's still happening. It's 2017, and there is still, you know, boys that are being sent home from school because their hair is too long.
Really?
Yeah.
Where? Here?
I could probably just Google it. I ran across it the other day.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Huh. Mm-hmm. I thought kind of anything went with that. No, not so much.
No, they still got issues with that in some places.
Well, my sister is 5'9.5", and she graduated high school in 1969. I can't tell you how many times she was sent home throughout her entire life of junior high and high school for her dresses being too short. They had the rule where you had to drop to your knees, and it was like the, you know, the hall Nazis or the knee Nazis. They would stop her in the hall, make her get to her knees, and if her dress didn't touch the floor, they'd send her home. And my mom finally went back and said, you know what? I work, and look at how tall she is. You find something that's long enough for her. As the micro minis were coming into style.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, I can't dress the girl. Like, what do you want me to do? And for a time, they weren't allowed to wear pants. She's like, seriously?
So what is supposed
what
to be
do you
going?
do?
Yeah. And just, yeah.
Yeah.
It is frustrating because a lot of times it's really funny because I'll look at something and, you know, we'll go through catalogs or doing that. And I'm thinking, well, my kid's a lot shorter than that, so it's going to fit longer. She has the opposite reaction because we have the same thing. We're both short. So I look at things and I go, well, that's going to fit. I mean, I have to get my shorts shortened.
Aw. That's cute.
Honestly, everything has to come up a hem length.
That's
you know,
funny.
for shorts because it's just wrong. And I'm like, oh my God. And it's just, so if teaching them, I think if you teach them that, you know, what they've got normally, some of that could spill over into, you know, other aspects of you know, their appearance and stuff like that.
For sure. Boy, I feel sorry for this lady. She found out that her husband slept with a pregnant prostitute 6 weeks before their wedding. And right after they got married, he ran up a whole bunch of debt. And she is now pregnant by him. So she has taken to eBay to sell her wedding dress to try to pay off her debt. So she marked it it's like, I'm sorry, this is British money, so I don't know. It's not pounds. It's more, it's like, I want to say, let's just say 30,000, but I think it's more.
The dress was that?
Yeah, 30,000 pounds. Okay, so she put the dress up.
That's like a 40, oh no, the pound and dollar, stuff like that. Sometimes it's like 1.5 to 2 times that.
Yeah.
No, what the hell was on this dress?
Well, again, it's not the dress itself. It's high. It's almost like a GoFundMe situation. Only she's trying to sell her dress on eBay, and she's got the story up. There's a bid on there for 51,000 pounds to get her out of this.
Oh, okay, I get it. It's not like, I mean, because mind you, I have watched Say Yes to the Dress, and I've seen people drop.
Oh God,
thousands of dollars on a hand crystal thingy bobby, but okay.
Yeah, no. It's really not.
Okay,
it's just it's a hard luck thing. Mm-hmm. And so that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. No, make the
pay off his debt, get rid of him, get a new start with your baby. Right?
Yeah, I like it.
Me too.
I was going through there,
and God bless the person that put that bid in, because that's pretty neat. If you have money to throw around, why not do something kind? That's pretty cool. I don't know about this one, Colleen. I wish Meg was here. Sex with erotic robot that can self-lube will be more intense than with humans. A self-lubing robot. Fuck, if they can't even self-lube cars, like why can't cars change their own oil, but we can have a robot that self-lubes? Come on, man.
Well, honestly, you still have to add the lubricant, so if you forget to do that, there's no way it's manufacturing.
Stephen Hawking says that they will take over, and I believe him.
That's some good clickbait right there.
It's the company's Real Doll. You've heard of them.
I know, but you still have to add the lube.
I know.
I mean, if someone squishes out from some point, or there's a bulb or motor yet, you still have to add the lube.
Those are going to be on the shelf at the end of this year. It's called, just if you want to look it up, guys, we'll have the link to this too. The Harmony 2.0. And they've got one that talks dirty in an American accent, so it doesn't have to be just British, which cracks me up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, I you know me, I'm too, you know, as long as you're not